In a quaint town nestled between rolling hills and ancient forests, there lived a young couple named Emma and Jacob. They had been searching for the perfect home to start their new life together, and their journey led them to a majestic Victorian mansion on the outskirts of town. The house had stood empty for years, rumored to be haunted by the spirits of its former inhabitants. But Emma and Jacob were undeterred by such tales. As they stepped through the grand double doors for the first time, they were struck by the grandeur of the place. The foyer was adorned with intricate woodwork and a sweeping staircase that led up to the upper floors. Dust motes danced in the sunlight that filtered in through stained glass windows, casting colorful patterns on the walls. "It's perfect," Emma breathed, her eyes wide with wonder. Jacob nodded, a smile playing on his lips. "It's a fixer-upper, but with a little work it could be our dream home." And so they made the decision to purchase the mansion, unaware of the dark secrets that lay hidden within its walls. The townsfolk whispered of strange happenings that had occurred there over the years, doors slamming shut on their own, eerie whispers in the dead of night, and shadowy figures glimpsed out of the corner of one's eye. But Emma and Jacob paid no heed to these tales, too caught up in their excitement at the prospect of restoring the old house to its former glory. They spent long days painting walls, polishing floors, and repairing leaky pipes, their laughter and chatter filling the once silent halls. Yet, as the days turned into weeks, strange things began to happen. Emma would hear her name whispered in the darkness when she was alone in the house, and Jacob swore he saw a figure standing at the foot of their bed in the middle of the night, only for it to disappear when he blinked. At first, they brushed off these occurrences as figments of their imagination, the house settling, the wind playing tricks on their ears. But as the incidents grew more frequent and more sinister, they could no longer deny that something was very wrong with their new home. One stormy night, as thunder rumbled in the distance and rain lashed against the windows, Emma and Jacob sat huddled together in the living room, the only source of light coming from the crackling fire in the hearth. Suddenly the flames flickered and died, plunging the room into darkness. Emma let out a gasp of fear, her heart pounding in her chest. "Jacob, what's happening?" Before he could reply, a cold wind swept through the room, carrying with it a bone-chilling whisper that seemed to echo from all around them. "Get out!" Jacob's blood ran cold, and he grabbed Emma's hand, his knuckles white with fear. "We need to leave, now." But as they made a dash for the door, it slammed shut with a resounding boom, trapping them inside. Panic seized them, and they ran from room to room, searching for a way out, but every door they tried was locked tight, every window barred. In their desperation, they stumbled upon a hidden staircase in the corner of the attic, its steps worn and creaking with age. With no other options left, they ascended into the darkness, the only sound their ragged breaths and the pounding of their hearts. At the top of the stairs, they found themselves in a dusty, cobweb-filled room, its walls lined with old portraits of stern-faced men and women in antiquated clothing. In the center of the room stood a large, ornate mirror, its surface clouded with age. Emma approached it tentatively, her reflection wavering in the dim light. As she reached out a trembling hand to touch the glass, a figure materialized behind her in the mirror, a spectral figure with hollow eyes and a twisted grin. With a scream, Emma stumbled back, her heart hammering in her chest. Jacob pulled her away from the mirror, his eyes wide with terror. "We have to destroy it," he said, his voice urgent. Together they searched the room for something to break the mirror with, finally settling on an old candlestick lying on a dusty shelf. With a cry, Jacob swung it at the glass, shattering it into 1,000 pieces that tinkled to the floor like shards of ice. As the mirror shattered, a deafening wail filled the room, and a sudden gust of wind swept through the room, blowing out the candles and plunging them into darkness once more. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, the storm ceased, and an eerie silence descended upon the house. Emma and Jacob stood in the darkness, their breath misting in the cold air, their hearts still racing with fear. Slowly, cautiously, they made their way back down the stairs and out of the house, never looking back as they fled into the night.